Here.
My TV's not on.
Alright.
Mano.
Alright, and welcome to the Legend of Korra review. This is going to be a review for Chapter 11, Kuvira's Gambit. And got a full panel of guests here, one more than usual. So why don't you go ahead, introduce yourself, Zen. You're the newcomer here.
Yes, I am, and I had intentions of joining this series for quite some time now, since the beginning of this season, maybe before. But I finally made it. I'm finally here.
Yep.
Better late than never, as they say.
And
So, I'm ready to talk
final-
some Korra with you guys.
yeah, you're one episode, or 2 episodes, I think, left in the series, so you came right at the end. So anyway, we have the usual Mike, New World Order. Go ahead.
Hey guys, what's going on? Happy to be here. Talk about Korra.
And Mega.
Yo, you know who it is. Great to be here, and let's talk about and review Pacific Rim. Oh, it's gonna be great.
And I broke my streak of having a Korra-related icon. I've been monkeying with my computer, had to reformat, so I got the link, but at least it's an animated-looking link. So let's get started. I don't have anything written down. This episode was pretty focused on one major storyline, so I guess let's just get into it, and then at the end we'll do our usual, give it a grade, and our predictions for the finale. So I don't have the specific order of everything, but basically they were evacuating Republic City, and they thought they had 2 weeks, and so they were making plans for some defenses, and it turns out I can't remember if Kuvira was tricking her or if she just bumped up her plans because she knew Julie was kind of betrayed her, and it turns out they had less than 2 weeks. It was only 1 week later, and their army, the United Earth Kingdom, whatever, Empire was coming already. And the surprise of everybody, including all of us here, that spirit weapon,
Machina.
the spirit weapon that was huge on its own was just a little small arm cannon, this giant mech, and that really took me by surprise. I was not expecting anything like that. I thought maybe a tank or something, and then basically. They were going to surrender, and Batar Jr. was going to go talk terms with the president, and Korra and a few others kind of kidnapped Batar, and they were going to use him as ransom. And Kuvira just said, "You know what? Fuck you," and she just blasted him. So that was the episode in a quick recap in a nutshell there. But I guess what do we want to talk about first? I mean, there's the mech. Do we want to go right to the mech, or any of the small? There wasn't a whole lot of side stories or anything going on. So.
Yeah, let's go right to the mech. I felt like I came out of completely left field, and I was actually pissed off because I was like, "What the hell? Nobody knew about this mech. Not Bolin when he was in the inner circle. Not Barrick. And I mean, this guy, Batar Jr. needed Barrick to build the gun, and yet somehow he can build that giant mech all by himself and figure out how to attach it. Like, come on! I mean, give us some credit here. Like, we're not stupid. Like, you need to set these things up. You can't just. That's Deus Ex Machina at its finest, right there. Because it's like nobody expected it. We didn't expect it, and it just feels like okay, like. There's no hope now, like how the heroes going to, and they get all their mech suits blown up now too in the factory. So it's just like, yeah, it's just like I don't understand the writing in this episode. Seriously, at the very least, they could have said like, oh, the minute we, they could have made Batar Jr. say the minute Varric completed the energy firing weapon, Kuvira came up with the idea to make a giant robot, and I was working on it. Whatever. Just
or they could
have.
If they, I don't know. It seems like they would have known they were going to take this approach months ago. Like they could have at least hinted at maybe a secret weapon, and more than just that cannon. But
right, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it feels like they knew about this months ago, and more like they just came up with it like an episode or two ago. It's like so out of the blue.
What do you guys think, Mega?
Well, basically now we know why she took down the walls of Zalfu, basically. So it was to make that big, huge freaking thing. And yeah, I mean, nobody knew about this. Of course, it was like, what the fuck? And nobody really was pointing it out. Um, it was really like okay, how the hell did you guys do this within like that much of time? I don't know. Probably we're not actually looking at it right. Probably it's actually farther than usual between episode 1 and where we are now. But it was really a surprise. And Kuvira is such a bitch. I don't know. It's just she, like they're really bringing out the darkness for this Avatar series. That's why I'm saying Toonami. Just why are you with Nickelodeon? Because she killed people, and with that big huge freaking just it's on the wrist though. I mean, I thought she was gonna have like on the shoulders, right, on her other arm, something like that. But no, it's just like like just one hand. What the heck? Yeah.
So Zen, we haven't really heard your thoughts on this season so far. If you want to just quickly just say how you were feeling about the season, and then go into like what we were talking about with the mech, how that just came out of nowhere.
Okay, the season was decent, I want to say. Korra almost made it her duty to piss me off this season in the early episodes. I'm like, come on, this is season 4. Is it the final season, right? Yeah?
Yep.
It's the final season. You should have more character development than this. You should be able to overcome crap like this fairly more easily than you're showing me, and it was just a whole mess. One of the most gratifying moments of the season thus far is when Toph called her out and said, "You must be the worst Avatar ever." And
Yep.
that actually mirrored my thoughts at that moment. I'm like, there you go. I mean, the show was saying it itself, so yeah, it was really frustrating early on. But she finally got over her mental issues, though, and she got her powers back. Korra's character has been wavering, in my opinion, this entire season. At moments, she looks strong, she looks determined, she looks focused to do what she needs to do to fulfill her duty as the Avatar. And other moments, she's this wimpy crybaby that doesn't know what to do, seeks advice from everyone else, and just seems lost and confused. So it went up and down. It wasn't just this general arc that character development usually takes. So where Michael brought it up is that he's confused with writing in that one episode. I'm kind of confused with writing a whole season, at least where Korra is concerned.
One of my biggest gripes about the season has been the way they've handled Bolin, and about the way that Korra has been regressing almost every episode.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the two things that the writing has been torturing me on.
I mean, we even saw a mini regression this episode where Korra is concerned, where what's his name, Batar Jr. After you see right there, she led the mission, the stealth mission, into the airship. She captured him. That was all by Korra's lead. I'm like, all right, good, stepping up to the plate. That's really good. They get him to the warehouse, begin interrogating him, threatening him. Nothing seems to work, and then she loses her cool, picks him up, goes in Avatar state, and looks like it's going to be a violent interrogation. I'm like, yes, finally! Like, using the Avatar power for, and then she calms down. And she's like, no, I can't do it. I'm like, come on! So close, Korra, so close. So, Korra almost graduated there, almost. She was at the final examination, and then she just flunked, in my opinion. She did come up with a suitable threat where if we're forced to go on the run, you're never going to see your loved one again. And while it's not nearly, I'm going to bash your face in if you don't tell us what we need to know, it kind of made up for it, kind of. As for the mech, though, again, agreed with Michael. Deus Ex Machina work. No one knew they were building that. No one in the inner circle knew they were building that. There was no foreshadowing for it. Except for in this episode, I believe, they revealed that she had torn down the domes in the city. So if they didn't know she had taken the domes down in order to get the iron or metal, enough, iron and metal, to harvest enough metal to create that monstrosity, then you're telling me that they built that inside of an episode. Nah, not even an episode. You're telling me they built that in half an episode. From the revelation that the domes are gone to when we first saw the mech, that's like 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, they mentioned the domes were gone in the previous episode.
They did?
In
Okay,
the
well then
beginning.
one episode. One episode.
It's been a
Alright.
week since they noticed that those
Yeah.
domes are gone, but it's probably been a month or something since they were actually took over Zhaofu, I
Okay.
would think. But either way, that's an
Yeah. Batara Jr. must be a great inventor. One, as Michael said, should not have even needed what's his name? I keep forgetting.
Varric.
Varric's help, right. Should not have needed Varric's help and any capacity whatsoever, since he pretty much seemed to be on top of the situation, which is the next point I'm going to come to. He struggled to understand what Varric was doing. He didn't even really see Varric sabotaging the Spirit Vine project when it was just a project. And he seemed to be just out of his depth. But in this episode, he knew exactly what was wrong with the thing. Like, exactly what was wrong with the thing. He could tell us in an estimate of time, down to the second, yeah, this thing is going to be ready. Right? Because I knew exactly what's wrong. I know how to fix it. I can tell you exactly how long it's going to take to do that. So, while that is progression in a sense, it's this weird kind of progression that doesn't make sense, but only to serve the overarching plot. It's like, okay, well, Varric's out of the way, so now this is the guy that has to know. And that's really the only reason he does know. Because who else will? So, it was kind of wonky. It's kind of crazy. And it kind of just capped off with, I suppose, the mech being there fixed everything in my head. It's like, okay, well, it's a mech. And as Mega would say, it's Pacific Rim.
It's a Jaeger.
Yeah, it's a Jaeger. That's the word I'm looking for. So yeah, it was impressive to see, to be honest. One minor disappointment though. I wondered when they first showed it how it was moving.
Mm-hmm.
And I had expected Kuvira to be literally bending the entire thing. Like every facet of his movement, she would be bending it. But she was bending it, but more she was bending the gears in order for it to move.
Yeah, she was like
bending the
moving
thing
the
itself.
levers, like just the levers and stuff.
Just the levers. And I feel as if she were bending the entire thing, since it is made out of metal, that would show just how much the monster she is in terms of strength. It's
And
a hell
it
of a
should
lot
have
of
been
metal
like
you're bending.
struggling. It looked like it was walking on its own, and she was maybe moving the arm or something separately. But
Yeah.
so let's get off just the mech and how it doesn't quite fit in there. But let's just talk about everything else, that the episode itself with they were evacuating the city, and who was it? I think Prince Wu was actually he's actually been doing okay. He was another character that's been up and down. He was actually helping, and when they were trying to tell the citizens, we got to get out of here, Mako, of course, caused a panic, and then Prince Wu's speech, which was kind of pathetic, really. It wasn't that inspiring, I didn't think, but it worked in the episode. They had it, like, he did good, and it actually worked on the people, so that was a small win for him. And then you had, Iroh, Captain Iroh, General Iroh back, and they really didn't even have any kind of fight at this point. It was just like the mech just kind of walked in and did what it wanted to, which there was really nothing they could do to stop it. So, I mean, there wasn't really anything. I mean, we had a Milo scene that was pretty funny, and like everyone decided to stay and help, and and other than that, it was just all about the mech and attacking.
Julie with Varric.
There was a little moment, a little reunion there. So I guess let's just
She
cover.
was like, he was like gonna softly caress her face.
Yeah.
Tap her on
And
the
he's like,
shoulder, like, get to work.
It was good that they had her say, "No, I'm not going to be your assistant. We're going to be equals." It was that was another character that actually made a step forward.
A step forward.
Yeah, she's looking for a ring on her finger. That's what she's looking for.
No, earlier I said we almost had a graduation in the form of Korra. Well, I would say that would be the second graduation moment that we almost had, but freaking
Varric.
Freaking Varric, man. I thought, okay, Varric is gonna stop being a dick, because he has been a dick this entire season to Julie, and he's gonna actually soften up and express his feelings and so forth, like he was trying to, kinda, in his Varric way, when he was alone with Bolin.
Yeah.
But then he doesn't do.
Yeah, it seems like Legend of Korra does not want to get rid of its comedy characters. They're afraid to grow You know, the characters like Bolin, like Merrick, like
Like Milo's enough. I mean, he's a young kid. That makes sense that he's.
Milo is perfect. Yeah.
And his comedy is actually very. It's a lot more intelligent. It's more subtle, and
Yeah.
then Bolin's just trying to be too in your face, obvious that
Right.
they're trying to be
Cheesy.
funny.
And,
Yeah.
and you know what? You can go the opposite direction with Mako, and you can make Mako get more lighthearted.
Yeah.
You need character development. That you need to, develop your characters. You need to make it feel like a sense of time is passing, that they've grown, that they've changed. It's what creates interest. And when you don't have that, when you don't have that interest, then there's no point in watching except for the battles. And so far, the battles have been subpar.
Yeah. Speaking of character development, Kuvira herself, I would say, this is her third graduation moment. She definitely graduated. I'd say she graduated from potentially misguided zealot to straight up evil dictator in one moment.
Yeah, was there two people in that little lookout on the mountain that she obliterated?
Mm-hmm.
And then numerous people on the ships of the Republic Army or whatever, United Army, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So Mega's been kind of quiet there.
Yeah. I'm just need to calm down with the muting. But yeah, dude, she killed more than Zahir. Okay, Zahir only killed let me see, the Queen. That's about it. But he killed more. But it's like the difference between Kuvira and Zahir is like he did it because what he believed in, which is like peace and all that stuff. You got Kuvira that's just like killing out of nowhere. Like she killed these group of people that were on lookout that didn't even like fight back.
They didn't pose a threat either.
They didn't even like do anything. That's just the main thing right there. They didn't even do anything.
Well, they were gonna call. I think they were gonna notify everyone, which wouldn't have made a difference really. But
yeah,
she definitely crossed the line. There's no going back.
Mm-hmm.
She is right now at the point where I will kill you if you do not even like if you don't be loyal to me. That's how she is right now.
I really hope that this is a season that won't come to an end with Kuvira in prison or something like that. She needs to die.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not because she's that character you just can't stand having around anymore, because she's amazing, but she needs to die to have that impact. At the end of the season, she can't just be locked up like Zahir was.
Yeah.
Yeah, she definitely needs to be that one villain that needs to just be no more and be just obliterated, just destroyed. I think that needs to be the point sent at the end of the season. Not sure if we'll see it, but hey, it's a thought.
So let's go. One last thing I want to talk about, then we'll do a review. I think the more interesting thing is to talk about what's going to happen next. But the little airbender group that went and kidnapped Batar, I thought that was kind of cool scene. You had a Tenzin in the flying suit. I don't think I remember seeing him in that before. Boomy.
He has it. The thing is, he has it, but he always has the robe on.
Yeah.
He always wants to keep it like.
He looked cool in that. But who else? What was it? It was Boomy.
It was Boomy, Janora. No, not Opal.
No. Okay, so
the other sister, the younger or older one.
Was Iki there?
I believe so. Yeah.
I don't remember that, but it was kind of a cool moment. They worked together. There was no riffraff. They just got the job done, and they got Batar. That was good because they actually were effective. They didn't fail, and it was just like, I wish there was more of that in this season so far.
And that's exactly the point I'm trying to bring now, because again we have this moment as great as it was, again led by Korra, great moment for her and for her character. But it just kind of seemed like it came out of nowhere and only present to service the overarching narrative. It's like, all of a sudden you guys are capable of this. Where did that come from? So it's like where in the moments where skill like this and cohesiveness as a team like this would have been needed, you didn't have it. But now that it's absolutely the only thing you could do in order to forward the plot, all of a sudden it's something that you possess. Yeah, it's kind of wonky.
And Korra had her like flying the staff with the built-in glider. Like I haven't seen
Yeah.
that in forever.
Like I actually found that to be nice because it kind of gives a thing with Aang, I would say, because that means it's like business about to happen. Something good is about to happen, like a nice battle. Of course, it didn't happen here, but that's gonna. I know it's gonna happen probably in the season finale. It will. What am I saying? But I like that I like that she still has a staff. And I hopefully she does something. She doesn't just put it in lava like Aang. But it's just I really cannot. I really cannot see Korra, going. I know she's gonna have trouble at first, but what I just want to see is really just her just taking that mech on like full on Avatar state. Because that's basically what needs to happen, and just like I don't care, be as dark as possible. This is the last freaking 2 episodes. Bring it where she. Oh my god, I'll say that for prediction right there. Because jeez.
And I'm rewatching the little sneak peek right now because I forgot exactly what it covered. So anybody want to say anything else about this episode before we just give our grade?
No, I think we covered everything.
Yeah, we usually spend a little more time, but there just wasn't that much really to cover. So we'll start with Zen. We do a letter system, A minus, B minus, B plus, whatever. Give your grade, and then a little bit of why we already pretty much know, and then we'll move to the next person.
Okay, I'm assuming A plus is the highest grade.
Yep.
And F would be the low. Okay, good. I'm gonna give it a C minus. The reason for that is the mech. That's a plus. Kuvira's turn from regular villain into I don't give a shit anymore. Plus. Batar's shocked that that's your loved one, quote unquote. She's about to kill you. Plus. The stealth mission, even though it came out of nowhere, which is a plus and a minus. Let's see what else. I also found that even though they were up against insurmountable odds in the form of the mech, the whole General Iroh army thing, and then having all the humming bees destroyed immediately, that was pathetic. So minus. There wasn't even a fight. They just kind of squared off. Kuvira was like, okay, you have a few seconds to surrender while I start blowing shit up. And, well, she started blowing shit up and nobody lifted a finger. So, even though I know you've seen shows where you're up against insurmountable odds, the persons involved know they can't win, but they still try to fight. They fight and they die. There was no such thing here. So that's a negative, definitely. So C minus. It was okay. Could have been better. But let's hope that the other 2 episodes, I believe,
1 or 2, I'm not sure.
It's gonna be like.
It says series finale and sneak peek, and so if it's 2 episodes, they're gonna be on the same night. Otherwise, it's only 1, which would be shocking if it's only 1.
Yeah, let's hope that this last episode or 2 episodes, whatever, the finale, let's hope it makes up for it, and I really hope I don't see a certain thing, but that's into the predictions for the next episode.
All right, so let's get Mike's review and then Mega's and then mine. So go ahead, Mike.
I absolutely hated the the mech thing because I felt it came out of nowhere. I felt there was no development for it, so that gets a minus for me. I did not like the whole scene with basically I lost my train of thought. When they were like doing the Wu thing and evacuating the citizens, like Prince Wu evacuating the citizens, whatever, that was kind of like filler. I felt like we don't really care about this character, and I don't really need to see him say, oh, I'm actually being a good character now. Whoops, psych, I'm actually joking, and like whatever. I hate his moments. And also there was the whole scene with Batar talking to his mom, or she was talking to him, trying to get him to like change or whatever, and that felt really like not sincere, and like he was just like, Kuvira is my only family now, and I was like, okay, like we don't need this scene either. And then there was that scene where God, that was on the tip of my mind now, but I forgot about it. But basically, yeah, I mean, the good scenes I'll talk about. Julie was really good. I enjoyed seeing her character development. I enjoyed the stealth mission, kidnapping Batar. Oh, I don't like how Korra once again appears weak. Let's kidnap Batar. What do we do with him? I don't know. Okay, he's like, you're not gonna hit me. She's like, you're right.
She should have hit him once at least.
Yep.
Yeah,
She
it
didn't
should have just been like a good, like, freaking knuckle Joe in the face, man. Just like,
Yeah,
boom.
she didn't even try to do nothing. She said, "Oh, I'm just gonna keep you away from Kuvira." It's like, come on, lame. Like, go into his mind or something. Use some kind of like Avatar spirit, then crazy thing on him or something. Like, come on, give us more than that. So yeah, that was lame. Like I said, Julie was good. The stealth mission was good, and honestly, I think that's about the only things that were good for me in the episode. So I'm gonna have to go with Zen's rating and give it like a C-2, I guess.
All right, Mega.
All right. I could see there wasn't really much, like, everybody else said. And I'm really gonna go with just a C plus right there. The reason why is because I kind of understand that Korra's trying to change, but at the same time, come on, just be nice, just be like nice in a bad way, just punch a man, like, come on. And the whole thing with the mech coming out of nowhere. Of course, it was nothing. You know what they should have done is that at the end of, like, let's say the one where at the end of the episode after Kuvira takes Zaofu, they should have shown a hint of this big huge thing being built,
Mm-hmm.
and that would have led here. That would actually brought something there. But it really, I don't know, it really didn't do anything much. The stealth mission was nice. Raiko's oh my god, such, like, probably the worst first president ever. I'm sorry, George Washington kicks your ass. And yeah, I mean, everything else, I just saw the preview because this is my first time seeing it, and oh my god, I could tell it's gonna get way better. But yeah, I mean, Korra just really needs to stop being the nice one, and even if you notice from back in Avatar: The Last Airbender, when Aang was talking to the past avatars, basically like all the way back when he was about to face the Fire Lord, even the Air Nomad, the woman Air Nomad, was like, you also have to do these things, in order to give peace to the world, which means killing. You have to. So that's something Korra because if this was like her old self, like in season 2 or 1 or 3, she would have killed, or at least like done some roughing up on Batar, but she didn't. So yeah, I'm gonna have to leave it at that with that grade.
I gotta say too that just thinking about it, like, how badly prepared were they? I mean, they thought honestly that, oh, Julie told us 2 weeks, so it's obviously going to be 2 weeks. She knows that Julie defected. Like, she's obviously going to change her plans. And then another thing, like, did you see what they all did? Like, the giant mech was walking towards Republic City, and they just all stood there. Like, I mean,
that's exactly what I'm saying, man. They just didn't fight back. They didn't do anything.
I mean, come on. This is what they could have done. They could have had Earth. First of all, there was this big canyon that the robot was walking through. They could have had Earthbenders all around there, preparing for a landslide on enemy forces. They could have had airbenders from the high vantage point to signal them, like with a signal to push the rocks. And they could have had waterbenders. There was water on the side. They could have had waterbenders there, and like, I mean, come on. Like, there was no preparation, and they had suits. So why weren't those suits operational? Those metal suits on the front lines. They were just sitting in a warehouse. Like, what?
Mm-hmm.
So those are 2 more things I just thought of right there. Yeah.
Aside from that, you bring up a really interesting point about them just sitting there, and I hadn't even thought of this. I would lower my grade now that I've thought about this. The episode had just really bad pacing. Like, for example, they could have spent time building up the mech and making its appearance, well, expected. done some foreshadowing or something like that. Instead, what did they do? They give you this weird montage about Republic City being evacuated and the members of the army preparing and forming up in their battalions and all of that. And they give you this weird montage that leads to them standing there. So there's no payoff. So why did you show me this if there's no payoff? I would have preferred to learn more about the robot.
Yeah,
You know?
they could have had a little bit of how that thing was created, but I'm going to give my grade so we can get on to the thoughts for the finale. I'm just going to say a very generous C, and the biggest thing about it is it didn't feel like The Legend of Korra. This whole episode didn't feel like that. Mech just really threw the whole episode off. It didn't fit in with anything that had happened previously, and you know, it probably hurts that I've been watching the original Avatar: The Last Airbender series, and I'm on the end of book 2, and you know, I should have been watching that because that just makes Korra seem even worse. You know, the writing and stuff is just not even close to the same. It's hard to believe it's made by the same people. But you know, there was some good things to it, but the thing it achieved was it lowered my expectations for the finale. Like our last few reviews, we've been like, all right, I can't wait to see more. I can't wait to see the finale. And them just going, I think what they were trying to do is recapture the feeling of the episode in book 2 of Avatar: The Last Airbender with the drill. Like that thing kind of came out of nowhere, but it was really cool. And I just feel like they were just watching the original series saying, okay, how can we make Korra feel more like the original series? And this is another thing. And it came out of nowhere. And like Zen was right on, Mike, everybody's been right on. They should have had foreshadowing if it wasn't in the episode before. Start out this episode. You know, don't do it like, you know, a Godzilla movie where you don't see it till the very end or something. But they could have done it at the last episode. Maybe they could have built up to it. Left us with a cliffhanger, okay, something huge is coming. They just didn't do that, and it felt like they just wrote each episode without knowing what's happening next. I don't know, it was just weird. So anyway, what are you guys' thoughts? The finale, you know, the preview showed the mech had pretty much walked through the city, and it was coming towards Air Temple Island, and everyone was together, you know, the main cast, Lin, Sue, like everyone. And they said they had some prototype of those, what were the flying suits called?
Hummingbird.
They had one or two prototypes, like that's going to do anything, but my prediction is they're going to copy what they did in that drill episode, and they're going to have to break in the mech and try to destroy it from the inside by weakening its structure or something. That's my prediction for how they're going to handle that. I have a feeling it's going to be kind of a letdown. I don't know if it's one episode. There's way too much to cover. It has to be 2 episodes, I would think. And then there's going to be almost a whole episode of them kind of wrapping up the story. You know, they're going to have to tie up all these character arcs, and is Korra going to end up being a great avatar, or is the Avatar cycle going to continue, or is it going to stop? There's a lot of things they're going to have to do. And when me and Mega did our predictions, one of the things we thought was maybe they would make the Avatar cycle die off with this series, and then the benders, you know, everyone would lose their bending or something, and then it would just be like foreshadow, like these people turned into the world we know now, something like that. I don't know. But I guess you guys give your thoughts, predictions, anything you expect to see.
Do you think that anybody's gonna be injured from that giant laser?
They showed Batar was the only one in the preview. They showed them carrying Batar.
Oh, okay. That's ironic.
Yeah, he's too slow. So yeah, they were carrying him out, and everyone else was okay.
Well, it does make sense. The man was tied up.
Yeah.
But you would think like his mom would protect him or something with like metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know if I agree that they're actually going to write all these loose, you know, they're going to tie up the loose ends. I think like it'll be a war. Korra's going to win the war, and then, like, you know, as the Avatar, she'll just you know, reign as the Avatar, and that's it. It'll end with like a statue of Korra and it's up to our imagination to figure out what happens next. That's the kind of cop-out ending I see coming. So that you know the way they've been writing, that's definitely what I'm expecting. You know, I'm thinking that Korra is going to mount an attack against the mech, and the only way I could see the attack working is if they come at it, you know, from behind or something, and they attack the legs. Like that seems to be like the weakest point of that robot is its long, lanky legs. So if they can distract it somehow and attack the legs, they might have a chance. I don't see. I mean, yeah, they'll probably use those prototype suits too. I don't know what they could use them for, but you know, I mean, the war is going to be winding down, so it's not going to be that tactically like amazing. We're going to see like this episode. It was like this amazing super robot. It's unbeatable. They're literally going to have to like make it be destroyed, you know, within 20 minutes or whatever the next episode, in order to, you know, wrap things up. So it's not going to be too spectacular, I feel, but I hope that we get an epic fight with Kuvira and Korra, and you know, have like Sue and Mako and Bolin use their bending to fight like Kuvira's army, like, you know, just to have a really good battle scene. That's the most we can hope for at this point. A good fight with Korra and Kuvira, and a good fight with the armies versus, you know, Bolin and maybe the mech suit from Future Industries, the two prototypes that they have. And that's it. Then the series will end.
And you know, there's still a huge army too. Like that. That's just like that mech. That's another thing the mech did, was completely make that epic, huge army she had built up. Pretty much just like an afterthought. Like no one was even thinking about it. So Mega, I know we've been really excited, and has this episode lowered your expectations for what the finale is going to do now? Or are you still hopeful?
I'm still hopeful. But here's why, basically, because, you know, I feel like I understand, you know, Korra is basically going through this phase of like, oh, should I do this? Should I not do that? But, you know, honestly, what I wanted to see, and I just want to bring that back, I just want to see this where, you know, she takes down the whole mech, or at least when they all work together to take down that whole huge giant mech suit. But then also, like, I just want Korra to just make a huge, big, huge ice spike and just, like, shove it right through that mech. You know, just do something with the Avatar state. Show the power of that Avatar state. You know, I don't know. Have Bolin just make it where the metal, the ground is all lava, and the mech is basically trapped within it, and then Korra
could use
goes
lava
in.
bend on its feet and like completely immobilize it.
I mean, yeah,
they won't.
They have to distract the gun first. If they can distract the gun and then have Bolin take out the legs.
That's true. Right, so I think that's why you would see Varric and Asami up in the air, you know, distracting with the gun, I would say, and then have them on the bottom, because that's why I kind of Kuvira or Batar, you know, they had a dumb moment. They should have put two guns or guns everywhere else, because one gun, you know, all right, but like you should have done more. But honestly, you know, I'm thinking something like that, and then of course like a fight where all the scraps are around, and Kuvira and Korra basically just gonna have that final fight. Hopefully, please. This is why I wanted to be with Toonami. Just kill the frickin' dang bitch. Just kill her. Okay. I just want to see, because this is, you know, I'm gonna point out to another show that just recently did this, which is a Kami Ga Kill, and this one character, which is a bitch, she finally died. Okay? So that's what they have to do here. Okay? Kuvira is the bitch. And she has to, what? Die. So
will she,
that's
though?
basically what has to happen. Huh?
Will she? Will they kill her?
That's my only problem right there. I'm thinking that they're gonna do a whole Zahir thing where, you know, you basically almost murdered my father. You almost murdered me and stopped the Avatar state. You were basically gonna kidnap me when I was a kid and basically kill me. But I'm gonna let you go to prison. No. That can't happen now. I know I kind of have my doubts with that, where she's gonna kill, but It just makes the proper exit where she has to be that avatar. She can't be an Aang where she finds another way. I don't see that. If she does the same exact thing to where, oh, I'm just gonna take away your bending. I don't know. I'm
So,
just like,
just make a prediction. Yes or no? Do you think Kuvira's gonna die?
all right. I give it a 90%, and then the rest, that 10%, is that she will die. Okay. A 90% that she's gonna go to jail, and 10% she's gonna.
Before I go to Zed and Mike, do you think they'll kill off Kuvira or not?
Nah,
No.
they're not gonna kill him.
All right. Then why don't you go ahead and give your predictions? What do you think is going to happen? What do you hope happens? And do you think Kuvira will be killed or imprisoned?
Okay, so 3 things. First up, just to set this up, Mega will know where I'm going with this. There's certain other series in terms of manga that recently ended, and the characters in that franchise, they had lots of power, like physical power, able to destroy mountains in just a blink of an eye and so forth. But above all that, the most powerful thing in that universe that the writers had created was the ability to negotiate. What I'm talking about talk no jutsu. The ability to talk someone down and immediately reverse every decision they'd ever made up until that point, which in turn created who they are. If this series ends with Korra approaching Kuvira, all the other attempts they had to talk to her and have her back down failed, and all of a sudden she listens, I'm done.
Well, you'll be done regardless, because they're done.
Even if there were more episodes, I'm done. Because that's the epitome of bad writing. She seems so committed on her path to do whatever the hell it is she wants to do. I don't know if she'll be settled or satisfied with uniting the Earth Kingdom, or if she'll decide to go after the entire world. But it seems as if she's going down the path she's chosen, regardless. And she's had numerous times to turn around via negotiations and speaking to not only her mentor, but the Avatar and a bunch of other people along the way. She didn't even listen to Batar after claiming to love him and wanting to end this so that they could be married and live in their empire in peace. No one has mental sway over this woman. Therefore, if Korra is able to pull off some bullshit where she listens out of the blue, nah. No. So that's the first thing I hope I don't see. The second thing I hope I don't see is a repeat of, I believe, was the end of Season 1. Season 1's final fight. Here you have a giant robot. I hope we don't see a giant Korra again.
That was Season 2.
Just Season 2, okay. I hope you don't see a giant Korra again. I hope it's not that kind of fight, where it's like force versus force. Because we've seen enough of those fights, and I think we need something a little bit more technical. Now, if I were to write the downfall of this robot, all along the way, you've had them explaining, like the last 5 episodes that was pretty much one of the subplots. If anything in that gun, from the smallest thing, like the pins Julie removed, is missing or out of place, that long-range deadly weapon becomes a close-range bomb.
That's a good point.
So, if any way to bring that robot down, any efficient, smart way to bring it down, it would be like that. Someone infiltrates the robot, removes even the smallest thing, boom, robot down, or at least the weapon is down, right? And half of its efficiency is just out the window.
Yeah, just take Julie, fire up to the gun. She can take out the distributor and think the bomb.
That's right. That is absolutely right. Because I just don't see any other way outside of another Deus Ex Machina moment where someone just discovers, oh, I could actually do that, and they do it after not having any sort of lead up to it. Because you could consider all these times that they've failed to have this weapon working, foreshadowing to basically telling us, hey, at the end, that is going to be the very thing that will be the Achilles heel of this ultimate weapon. The very fact that if you remove anything, even the smallest thing, it fails and takes everything with it.
They definitely need to do that.
I just want to point out one more thing. Varric. All right, now listen. This dude's smart. All right, he invented many things. He even invented EMP in that universe. One simple thing that you could do to basically stop this huge entire army is to make a giant EMP. Put it up in the air, and then you're done. And then that way they can infiltrate, destroy, you're good. So Varric should just go, get that whole thing set up, come back. Actually, they should have been done that. And, that it would have been done. But, of course, they want to do it the hard way. And, I'm just hoping that at least when they do take the mech down and everything, where Kuvira, I know, where Kuvira basically just does not give a shit. She's that kind of thing where no talk bothers her. You cannot convince this woman, okay? Like no talk. It's just gonna go right into one ear and right out the other. So it's just like any talk. No, she's just gonna be like, I'm just gonna kill you. We're gonna see her wild side. I want to see that. Where she goes like actually not Azula crazy, of course. She's like that serious kind of crazy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically what I want to see for that kind of final fight. Just her being like serious. And the thing is, we're not in like Last Airbender where everybody there is kind of like in their 13, 12 around age, even though Aang is kind of 112, but still. He acts like a 12-year-old. We're at the point where they're actually in their 20s, and they need to mature it up a bit. They're at the point where, okay, listen, these are not kids anymore. They're actually grown adults at that point that we're at. So they have to put mature kind of themes in this freaking last season finale, which is killing, which is all that, because first of all, it's the right thing to do with Kuvira's case, because it doesn't look like anything will change this woman. And second, I mean, why not? You just have a whole freaking thing where the final fight, they have a bunch of cuts and a bunch of stuff and everything. Just make it mature thing because they're actually at that age. So just do it.
All right, Zen, did you have anything? I know he had 3 points. I think you're only in 2.
Yeah, the third point is that even if you disable a robot, you get rid of it. That doesn't automatically mean you get rid of or subdue Kuvira. Forgive the dogs.
You want me to send you a dart gun, like a blow dart?
Yeah, I will, man. I love animals. I love dogs particularly, but that's annoying. Yeah. So what I would do, they just keep going. What I would do is, if I were to write this, first off, Kuvira must not be allowed to redeem her character. And by that I mean, she's chosen a path. She seems settled on it, right? So it can't be that kind of ending where she gets defeated in combat, in bending combat, one-on-one with Korra, and then she's like, you know what, I took the wrong choice. Maybe I should have listened to, is it Lou? Or what's her name?
Sue?
Sue. I should have listened to Sue, and I did the wrong thing, and I killed all those people. I'm so sorry, and I'm regretful. No, she's not allowed to do that. She needs to die without redeeming her character. Because
I think what they're just going to do is going to make her like lose a battle and then like pass out, and then she's just in jail.
Yep.
Like I don't think she's ever going to regret what she did or go back on her. That's the one last credibility I will give to her character. Is that
actually
she is fierce and has a determined, ironclad will, and I don't think she'll ever regret any decision she ever made.
What I would want, if I were to write this, Kuvira would die, of course, in some really horribly gruesome way, but in such a way that she has just enough time to have a few final words, where Korra or whoever strikes that final blow asks her, it didn't have to be like this, it could have been different. Kuvira in her last dying breath said, if I could do it again, I'd do it exactly the same way. There. That would be beautiful. It's like there's nothing you can do to mentally defeat me. You physically defeated me, but you will never mentally defeat me.
Definitely her character would say that. So I've thought about this. I forgot to bring it up earlier. I don't want to extend this too much longer, but one of my predictions, and I'm pretty much convinced this is going to happen. Either the spirit weapon blast, or they're actually going to go and freeze Zahir to try to help and have him take out Kuvira because he can fly right in there. So I think that's either they're going to make the decision to have him because she's definitely goes against everything he believes in, or they're going to cop out and have the spirit weapon shoot a hole into the mountain and free his prison, and he's going to get out on his own. That's two things. One of those two things I think is going to happen, and I should have brought it up earlier, but I forgot.
There's also the possibility that they're just going to renege on what the spirit said, and they'll just help Korra.
Yeah, that's true. The spirits could come to help at the end, like in the Avatar movie by James Cameron's Avatar, where the animals and everything came to rescue at the very end. So I've been kind of predicting that.
Yeah, I feel that would be a really big cop-out ending too, because they already established they want nothing to do with human conflict.
Mm-hmm.
So like they shouldn't want to interfere at all. And if they just suddenly interfere now, it's
unless something had been established in this episode where Kuvira like destroyed the wilds or something, but she already took the vines from the freaking most spiritual place in the world, is the swamp. So I don't know. That's a thought. Anyone think we'll see Zahir, or do you think he's just going to be never brought up again?
Yeah, I think his purpose was to get Korra out of her slump and be like a mentor figure. I don't think he's going to be free and come back and fight. I think he's done.
Anyone else? Mega, what do you think?
Well, the thing is, what I have to say though is that she basically proved that she can't be even. She actually proved this when Korra and Kuvira basically, first were like about to fight right there, right? Where the only way you're gonna stop me is if you physically, come at me and like physically stop. She actually pointing that out. So there's no way you're gonna change your mind mentally. So that's basically already there. So I'm thinking something where words will not get to this woman, where she's just gonna stick with whatever she believes in, and just nothing more. So I could see some big, huge, epic thing going on, because Kuvira is a master with so far, not of course as a master with then Toph, but she's basically very good with metal bending. So this will be actually a really good fight, because of course the last one, he needed Sozin's Comet to basically, in order to get all this great fire bending, but after that it's basically over. But here she basically has all the material she needs. So there's really a lot that you can do with this final fight. I'm just hoping that they do it right. So yeah.
So you didn't answer my question. Do you think Zahir will make an appearance at all?
Oh, no. Oh yeah, you just reminded me. No. I don't know. I don't think he's gonna come back unless there's some kind of thing that happens where he somehow breaks out and all of a sudden, is just like, oh, so you're the woman or whatever. No, I don't think so, because he's really locked up in there. So I don't feel like we're gonna see Zahir at all.
Okay. That's fair. How about you, Zan? Do you think I'm way off with that, or do you think Zahir's storyline's already done, or do you think maybe there's a chance to bring him out for this finale?
Yeah, they could bring him back in. It would actually make sense of seeing him earlier on. But outside of that, no, I don't think we're gonna see him again. I don't have a lot of faith with the writing team, so I don't think they'll actually make good on having seen Zahir again. So no, I don't think we'll see him. Right. Based on previous writing, I don't think we'll see him.
Well, I just had that feeling. So if it happens, then of course I'll be a genius. If it doesn't happen, then you guys will. But yeah, that's it's going to be interesting to see what they do. Do they make amends? Do they fix? Were they saving all like their budget for this like epic finale? Do they have something awesome planned? We'll have to wait and see. But next week we're gonna have the finale review, and we'll just probably recap the whole series. And we'll have 4 seasons to kind of talk about how we felt, and definitely compare it to the original Avatar: The Last Airbender, which had a great story arc, the same villain the whole time. The kids went from pretty immature, sheltered, hadn't seen the world, to these mature, young adults by the end of the series. We're not seeing any of that with Korra, so it should be interesting. I think it'll be a good discussion, and we'll plan that one to be a little bit longer. Maybe get a couple more people in here and just go over the series as a whole. So yeah, if you guys, hopefully you guys will be able to join Zen if you want. Definitely have you back and talk about that. So I guess that's pretty much it. I've looked at some of the questions. There wasn't anything that we didn't really already talk about in the questions. So there's one comment about Deus Ex only applies to protagonists. Bad guys get to break all the rules when it comes to being overpowered. I guess that's kind of true. Teresa said that. So everything else we pretty much covered any of the questions that were there. But appreciate everyone who watched and yeah, I look forward to our finale review next week and the big discussion. So with that, we'll let you guys do your sign-offs, and we'll go in the same order we started with, so you can remember. We start with Zen.
Okay, people, it was good talking some Korra with you finally. It was a long time coming, but it finally happened. You might see me again for that big discussion, maybe even for the finale, I don't know. But yeah, I finally made it. Head on over to the ZGZ. If you like the sound of my voice, then head over there. There's a whole lot more of it, plus some content coming soon.
All right.
And yeah, so the core has been pretty disappointing for me. These past couple episodes with her regression, and I feel like their characters have been stifled, and they're not allowed to grow, and they're very one-dimensional. And I just wish I could be a writer on a series like this, because I have so many great ideas. But I'm optimistic for the final. I'm hoping we're going to get at least a huge battle scene with the mech and with the soldiers, and possibly, with all the Republic army getting back into the fighting it. So hopefully we'll get a good, decent send-off. I'm always happy to talk about Korra with you guys. My YouTube channel, W Order for Life. You want to check it out for anime reviews and game reviews and other stuff. So thanks. Have a great night, guys.
All right.
This was Mega Gary, man. Glad to be here. But yeah, hopefully next episode in the season finale actually does the things that we have been talking about. Hopefully, but not really. Because it's not with Toonami. But the thing is, yeah, I think that's about it. So hopefully, I really got nothing I'm really planning to do right now. But yeah.
All right. Well, that's it. And like I said, thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next week on Legend of Korra finale review, and hopefully it's a good one, and we're not all bummed out like we were in this review. So until then, we'll see you on the next video.
Later.